Hi, Ray Hayden here, and we're at the top of my Ray's JD homepage. Now, it's not really the homepage of the website. The website is Education, Training, and Experience, and but this is the website to the Juris Doctor project that I'm working on to get my JD and sit for the California Bar. One of the things I want to show you here, and what this video is all about, is how to get free information for the study of law. One of the things I did a long time ago is I set up this part of the website with this pre-law information. Look at my mouse bounce around over here mid-screen on the left. Okay, and I highlighted this pre-law information section for us because under here the very first thing was study law. You want to study law? Okay, well, let's go into that. So I preloaded this page here. If you click on that, you'll end up over here. So this is like, hey, you want to study law? Here you go. I highlighted it right there in the middle to the right of my face. And get a jump on your law studies. So you can see I'm talking to people who probably haven't already started yet. And one of the things I wanted to do is I wanted to introduce people. I mentioned it before on where you could find the old exams on the California Bar website. Well, here's the link to it. And also, by the way, when I cover these links, when I hit that, you might notice out of the corner of your eye in the bottom left, the link, where the link actually is, pops up down here where my mouse is in the bottom left. So if you look over here for the California Bar website, you'll see that's the admissions at Cal Bar. And I preloaded this page already. This is the page that will come up, and it will open, by the way. Follow my mouse over here for a second. So on the left-hand side, I have the thing already hooked up. That's my page. The next tab to the right says past exams. Okay, don't jump ahead and read all the other tabs yet. We'll get to that in a minute. But here's the past exams. It opens up in a new tab like that. I set it up on the website so it will. So you can always click on that other tab and go back to my websites for whatever reason, okay? Because it's the most important website on the inner tubes. Okay, so you should know that. And now that you do know that, you'll know where to find everything you ever need to know ever about the law, ever. Okay, so let's go back to the past exams from the California Bar. You scroll to the bottom of the page, and you have your selected answers section. I just highlighted it right there at the bottom. And this is under the first year law students examination section, and you want the selected answers. Now I'm going to tell you, from June 2014, and they'll have the October 2014 up here soon enough, from June back to October 2009, because it's June 29, 2009, that's a dead link, but October 2009, still a live link. These will probably be, and they actually, in all honesty, they will be more than enough, in my personal opinion, and with my materials, this will be more than enough for you to practice with. It will put you in front of enough issues, enough situations, enough scenarios, and you see how everything works. With just these, you don't have to go back further. However, if you do, I have them on my website. Over here, over on the left-hand side of the page, again, see my mouse moving around. The first year law students examination section of my website. The next to last button down here is bar style essays. Again, that is this page from the last video. You probably remember that. Over here we have all the June exams, and over here we have all the October exams. I have them back to June 2002. So if you want to go all that way back and look at different essays and everything else, you can. But here's the thing on that. I only link to the exams that have the selected answers over here. All right, back to my page for a second. Bink. Oops, wrong page. I only link back to the ones that have the selected answers. All right, so our writing style changed. The people that were writing the answers in 2002 have been practicing law for a while, we hope, right? Up through June 2014, and maybe some of us are still working on getting our job done and finishing our studies, all right, as it should be, right? But the writing style of the people evolved over this decade in 2 years. So you may want to keep that in mind. So that's why I say highly suggest that you work on June 2014 and October 2014 when it's available, as I say right here, when it becomes available. Work on the newest ones and work backwards, all right? Or if you know you're going to work back for a couple of years, you can start. Like say I'm going to work back till June 2011, start at June 2011 and work forward. However you want to do it, but you don't have to go back that far, all right? For practice, efforts, and I'll cover that in another video, by the way. I'll cover that in great detail when I go over how to practice with essays, or how I practice with essays, which is probably different than how everybody else does it. And we'll see when we get there. All right, so back over to my website for a second. Now, this is where to get the free stuff to practice law. So that's one of the free things. California Bar website, my website. When the California Bar, sorry for flipping around like this, when the California Bar stops linking to these old essays, back to my website, I link to them, and I'll always link to them for a good number of years, back through 2002. Maybe at one point I'll start dropping them off too, but probably not, because I just have them parked there on my website anyway. let's go back to your new to study law part of the website. Again, look down here in the bottom left where my mouse is moving around in this corner over here. I'm going to hover over this one here, the introduction to the common law. I'm going to hover over that. If you look at the bottom left-hand part of the screen, you'll see this is a Wikipedia article on common law. And guess what? I preloaded it. If you follow my mouse up along the top, you see all these different tabs up here. Here's one for common law. Bink. Here is where that link is going to take you. And all of the links that I give you from my page, let's go back to my page again. All of these links are going to open up in a new tab. I set it up so it will do that, so that you'll always have this tab available to you so you can come back and find it in case you get lost in the study of law, which you can. Now, I want you to follow my mouse again. It's circling around up here by the common law words at the top. Let me highlight those. Common law. Okay, so my mouse is up here. Follow my mouse over to the far right and look at this funny little thing over here. This is the, it depends. I'm using Linux, so things look different on my computer. So they might look different on your computer. I'm also using Firefox. Firefox on Linux looks a little bit different than, because what I'm missing is then the bottom right. I don't have a little clicky button that I can use to click. I actually have to drag the scroll bar to make it move. So this page, as you can see, is very, very long. It goes through all these different countries and everything, and it has a whole lot of information. And the thing I always love about Wikipedia, which to me makes it an authoritative source, is it got 1 million references. All right. If you went back to these references, they would be authoritative. Mostly, for the most part, and most Wikipedia articles at that. So, the mainstream schools and everything else, brick and mortar schools might say that Wikipedia cannot be used as a source. I'm like, yeah, not really, because it can, because you can go down to the references section and you can go back to the original source material, and if it had what you wanted, that's your source material right there. So maybe you don't want to use Wikipedia, but go back to the sources from the articles for any program in any educational setting. So there you have it. All right, so that's the common law setting. Let's go back to my page for a second. You'll notice that I have it set. I'm going to scroll down. Goodbye to my face. And we have torts, contracts, and criminal law under the 1L subjects. And by the way, for NWCU law. Okay, so NWCU law is the school I go to. That's the school that allows me to sit there and go through the program. And I greatly appreciate their allowing me to do that. But every school should have, for the first year, should have torts, contracts, and criminal law. The second year subjects at NWC law are listed below, and they might be different at your school. I've seen a couple of school curriculums that are different. I just want to check on that for a second here. You'll see agency, partnership, and limited liability corporations, and then I bounce through a bunch of websites. Web pages are all in Wikipedia too, and I just checked them to make sure all the links were still live, and they are. I actually had to make some corrections. Then criminal procedure, property law, and remedies. All right. But anyways, for 1L, that's what we're focused on, and this is the free information. Now, I really want to get you excited about torts here, for example. I'll get you all about all three of them, but torts is real sexy here. Check this out. Up at the top, I'm going to hit on the torts tab. All right. So there's torts. Now, get real excited about this thing over here on the right. Over on the right-hand thing, it says that this is part of the common law series. All right, so that's very important, because the common law thing, guess what? That's that first link that I showed you about. That's very, very long. You don't have to get lost in that one, but feel free and do get lost in this one, because look at this. Intentional torts over here, right? Let me highlight that for you. Intentional torts. All right, assault, battery, false imprisonment, intentional infliction of emotional distress. All this sounded familiar to you? Transferred intent. Some people get confused on that. I got confused on this. I thought transferred intent could only be applied to criminal law. Nope, it can be applied to torts. All right, so make sure you get that right. Now, another thing is I want you to really grab a hold of this. If you look at my one sheets and my definition sheets, please do. If you look at those, you'll notice that under negligence, I list comparative. I list them in this way: contributory, comparative, and assumption of the risk. These are defenses. You see that? That's defenses to a tort. All right. So I really want you to understand that they list defenses. Some of the courses will list defenses and they'll break them out. But under my negligence, I just, it's one of the things I really had to realize myself as I was creating my own materials that, hey, contributory negligence, comparative negligence, assumption of the risk, all of these things are actually defenses. All right. So to the torts. So I had to be familiar with that. I will go through all of these things in fine detail in my materials in future videos. Okay, so I don't want you to get too cranked up about this right now, but check this out. all of these links over here on the right in this right-hand column, all of these links work. Now, I am going to tell you that there's some different things that may not be covered, so much. I'm trying to find, here's something, neutral reportage. What in the world is that? I can't even, come on. It's going to take me a while just to pronounce whatever the heck this is. Let me just highlight that for a second. Okay. Okay, come on. All right. So these are not the things that they're going to be testing us on. And with that, I want to make the point that there is a universe of information on every subject. Why do you think that every state has some kind of mandatory continuing legal education just to keep up on it? Come on, doctors, lawyers, presidents at CEOs, management people in large companies. Everybody has a mandatory continuing education thing. That's why they have seminars and conferences and meetings nationwide, organizations that for different professionals, accountants, like I say, medical professionals, from doctors and nursing and everybody. We all have to continue our education. It never stops. That's why I have my website, Education, Training, and Experience. That's what it's all about. But the problem is education is very, very expensive. Come on, I can go to law school right here in my own backyard. Three of the law schools that are right around me within an hour's drive each way, 3 of them allowed me to have entry into their programs, but they all cost over $100,000. Now I got to put on the accounting hat and say, hang on a second, $100,000, I'm old. I'm not going to get the payoff on the back end of that. You're only going to make so much as an attorney on the back end, and where is it? I'm going to justify spending $100,000 plus on education. Not only that, I have to give up the work that I'm doing in the meantime in order to be able to do it, because the American Bar Association says I got to go sit in a classroom in order to go through an ABA school. So there, that rant's over with. So anyways, there's torts. Here's contracts. Same thing. Right-hand side, look at all this. Offer and acceptance, posting rule. Guess what? Mailbox rule, right? Mirror image rule. So see, here's the thing. Now, here's the thing about Wikipedia. You see the posting rule, all right? Up there, I just highlighted in the top right. We all know that's going to be the mailbox rule. So that's one of the issues about the Wikipedia contents. They are the same thing. They're covering the same thing, but you might know them as a different thing. But anyways, so as a different term. So here, and here's one for criminal law. Over here on the right-hand side, there you go. Here they are. They're all there. All that information is in there. Blackmail, that's something we're not going to be. I just saw crimes against property, blackmail. We're not really going to see that. Theft, we're going to see that as larceny. But anyways, so here's all this information, but it's there, it's available, and it's free. You didn't have to spend a dime on any of this material, and you can go through and get lost in this material. If you don't want to carry a big book around with you somewhere and you have access to the internet, you can go to my website again and hit Torts, Contracts, and Criminal Law. They'll open up in a new window for you. There's Torts, there's Contracts, and there's Criminal Law, and you can look at these anytime you want, anywhere you're at. If you got some minutes to be able to do some study, and you don't have a book with you, but you'd have the internet with you, you can jump on there and start studying this stuff and look through any of the things. I just saw here's a property tort of trover. All right, we're not, and replevin. I know what these things are, but you're really not going to see these on the exam. I just want to mention that. So you need to be, if you stick with my materials, you stick with the one sheet, stick with the definition sheets, and match them up to what you see in these panels over here on the right-hand side of all these different pages. Again, torts, contracts, and criminal law. And again, torts, here's contracts, and there's criminal law. But if you match them up with the subjects that are in those blue boxes on the right, the light, teal blue, whatever it is, this light color blue over here on the right of these pages, you're going to be able to go through a lot of information. It's not going to cost you a dime, and you can get up to speed very quickly. With that, I'm going to wrap this video up with saying that the next video that I'm going to make is going to be like kind of the same edition of this. And what we're going to be doing is making a video on the same kind of subject, but using a commercial outline. So if you this will work for both people. If you don't want to spend any money on additional books and materials and stuff, you don't have to. You can go into Wikipedia and you can get very, very well up to speed on this material right there through Wikipedia at no extra charge. If you do use a commercial outline, and it doesn't matter which one you use. I'm going to discuss that in the next video on how you can get up to speed just as well, if not even better. You know, I in all honesty, I say that using the commercial outlines will get you up to speed better. But here's a way to do it for free. And whether or not you have an outline with you or not, this is a way in which you can study anywhere you are, anytime, as long as you have an internet connection and some kind of a reader with you. You're good to go at no extra charge. So with that, stay tuned for the next video, which is going to cover commercial outlines in a little more detail. And with that, take care and be well.